Hello YouTube nation, friends, foes, and in between. I am sorry, I'm using my phone in my hand tonight because I want to be able to flip to my screen a little bit, and I am an awesome software going, but I have to learn about it a little bit more before I can use it. It will have me in a picture on the screen, and then I will be able to show things and scroll through it, and I'm sure some of you already really understand that. I'm new to it. Thanks for your patience on that. So I hope you don't get seasick, but of course it's me, Erin Lane Moffat, the most irresponsible person you'll ever meet. If you ever actually want to know what that means, I speak a little bit on some of my other videos, but it just talks about my wool-covered eyes in the past. So now I'm becoming less irresponsible, single mom, 2 beautiful girls, and I'm a gold and silver stacker. Literally, that's important to me. So today has been fun in a lot of different ways. One is I used to do the insanity Shaun T workouts, and I did them to the max. Like, well, when I say the max, I mean when I get involved in something, I do it. I did it for like the whole 6 weeks, and I was like so fit, but I was really, really thin back then. And so I had actually stayed thin, but I had become muscular. So I'm like, maybe I will try to do this again. So I threw in this Shaun T video yesterday. I'm extraordinarily sore today. That was way harder than I remembered it, but whatever. I mean, it was kind of fun actually. So I'm going to keep on that for a while so you can check me on that in a few weeks to see if I'm still doing it. I'm already a fitness person, but sorry if the shadows I'm casting, but those videos are hard. The other things I've been doing is a lot of research on stuff, which is awesome because it's really good to know the truth about what's going on. If you don't know truth, you don't know anything. Now, we never always, like, there's no way to always know if we're getting the truth, but there's ways to find out if there's probably the truth not coming from one direction versus the other. And I've talked about that on the last video, but really, I want to talk today about why a person should buy precious metals. I continuously find people that think this is some kind of like stocks or bonds or whatever, you know, things are going up and things are going down. They're like, oh, so it's just a volatile market. Well, it's never been that way with precious metals. It is money. It's always been money, you know, but it's real money and you hold it in your hands. I'm going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin tonight too, because I think it's important for people to think about things they don't think about because they get so excited. People get so excited about the next best thing. Then they glom on to something like, oh, at least it gets me out from under the government's thumb, but then they don't know why. They don't know why they should be out from under the government's thumb. And then when you really think about it, I'm like, anyway, I'll get to that. So, you know, we all know it's tangible. We all know it's private, But what I want to talk about is purchasing power. And I think, I'm going to flip this camera around. I think a lot of you guys are going to know this. Purchasing power has dropped, especially starting in 1913. You can see here, this is my PowerPoint, so it's going to have some funny little things, but that was the Federal Reserve beginning. And I go into that in another video, so I'm going to go into it a lot tonight. And then we know we had the run for our money, the bank crash. That's not the worst one, but it's the worst that people remember. You know, and it kind of jumped up because we got the FDIC to say we're going to protect your money. And they really don't because they don't have the backing. And then in 1944 was Bretton Woods, where everybody said, well, we trust the dollar because the dollar is backed by gold and silver. And everybody's like, yes, let's tether our ties to the sinking ship of the Titanic. Great, but in 71, yeah, 1971, Nixon said, well, I will no longer back the American dollar with gold and silver. Somehow he was protecting the dollar. Somehow he was defending the dollar. It's a really interesting speech. I will defend the dollar by not backing it with the things that we said we would. Really what he was saying is I'm going to put the kibosh on the ability to back the dollar with gold and silver because everybody wanted the gold, or, you know, gold basically is what he said. So I mentioned the Federal Reserve. Here is a very, very interesting document that I really wish people could read because people don't like to read, right? So this is a document that came out, you know, a few years ago, and I know my screen is a little bit blurry, but this is kind of important because Mr. Lord James of Blackheath goes on to tell a little story about what bonds are, which kind of goes along with what I've spoken about what bonds are in the past. I will put this link in my post. There's so much to it that if I read it to you, you'd get bored, you'd zone out. But what you should know is that the Federal Reserve was involved with a very, 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 very wealthy man with a family dynasty that awarded him a lot of money. And they either conned him into, or he was part of allowing them to use trillions of dollars to buy bonds. Now, if you remember my video from before, bonds, if you remember my video that I've done before, bonds are our national debt that you pay income tax to pay off the interest. So this is a really interesting article. Just reading this, not easy. I was very glad I was able to watch the video of the man speaking it first. I can't find that video now. Isn't that odd? We'll talk about that too later. Censorship. So anyway, that's just more of the Federal Reserve controlling us. And they're neither federal. They don't reserve anything. And they are not a bank. Which I love this guy because he, if I could actually find this, it's so funny. He says, in his quote, he says something like that. It's like celebrity big brother. 3 words to describe it and none of them are true. Hilarious. He actually said that in the court hearing I watched. I wish I could find it now. Don't know why it's taken down. I suppose if I did my deep state type of looking, I could find it. So, of course, we want to... This is talking about a hedge, right? We want to hedge against the government. This is what that is. Gold and silver is a hedge against poor government decisions. That is why you should be buying. That's why everybody should be buying. I'll talk about crypto in a minute. So the cool thing is there's now state legislature in a lot of states, and I'm going to flip around again, that is, you know, restoring gold and silver as money. I mean, it is money. We know a lot of people that would say, I would take your silver as a payment for whatever I'm doing. But the fact that legislature is getting behind this in the states as a way to put a value to it so that people can go, yes, I actually can take that legally, because we are currently forced to take dollars as currency. We are forced to do that. This is talking about making gold and silver a legal tender, again, to take as a payment so that we don't have to just pay our bills, just pay things, our rent, just pay, you know, this is, and it's spreading. Like, it's, Utah restores gold and silver as official money, starts trend. From what I understand, there's several states doing this. Idaho is doing this. This is important because we are forced. Everybody goes, oh, I can't go to a gas station and pay for my gas with silver. I'm like, well, in some states you can. Okay, so you can stop with that. Hullabaloo, which is one of my favorite words. So the other thing that I can tell you for me and nobody else is the education that nobody gave me. I didn't learn this in school, and I didn't pay for it in school when I paid for school, which I paid a lot of money for. But the education, just I bought into a company called 7K Metals. You know, you can buy from whoever you want to. I don't know why you'd buy from anybody else. You're going to say, oh, that's just your personal opinion because you work for them. Yeah, and they pay me. And I compare stuff, and I'm going to show you that too a little bit. But the education I got just from them that kickstarted my desire to learn has changed my life. I mean, I was one of these people that was hoodwinked, and everything's different. My kids are going to grow up differently. My life is different. Their life is going to be better for it. It's frustrating. It's super exhausting. I get to about 6 o'clock at night, and I'm like, this is exhausting. I have been reading and reading and reading and reading, and it's so exhausting, and some of it's hard to, it's just sad. It's just depressing, right? But at the same time, I am grateful to know what I know. So I'm going to tell you the education that comes with just starting to buy gold and silver is really awesome, right? So there's private, there's no taxation on it for many reasons. I'm going to show you something because you should know this. That was a fun view of me, right? you can carry more, right? So there's reportable items. I'm going to turn this around. There's reportable items. You have to report certain items, right? And we tell you that. Like, I'm not just like gonna just post this up here as a picture and never tell you ever again because it's a personal secret of mine. But there's things, if you buy in certain amounts, you have to report it to the IRS and pay taxes on it. There's no doubt, no getting away with it. And then there's items that you do not ever, ever, ever have to report. You can buy and sell as much as you want in a day of 24 hours. And now they might have, now if you're buying from a certain company or dealer, they may have to report. I'm really messing up on this. They may have to report if you buy $50,000 worth of kangaroos or silver eagles or the Chinese panda or whatever, right? Or the Canadian silver maple leaf. You do not have to report this if you sell $50,000 worth of this in a single 24-hour period. Not reportable, completely private, no computer program going into this, no crypto program, not reportable. These things are reportable over a certain limit. We're talking about the $9,999 point mostly. So these are things, this is the education I'm talking about. This is how you accumulate wealth. You buy these things and you collect them over time, or stack if you don't want to be a collector. I have a video on that. You buy them over time, you stack them, and then guess what? Like, you do not pay taxes on them. It's a sale that's 100% private. That's very huge if you care about not being under the government's thumb, unlike crypto, and I'm going to get into that now. One more thing, you should buy gold and silver at the best price. And this is a plug for my company 100%, because you need to know. Like, I'm going to flip this around. You need to know, right? This is an example simply because I want people to see the possible differences. Now, are you going to go buy a $39,000 RCM, which is Royal Canadian Mint? And if you hate Canada, just get over it for a minute. It's gold, right? If I gave you this gold bar for free, and you hated Canada, you would not refuse it. No, you would not. So anyway, let's just say it's a gold bar. It's a kilo. Now, some people have this kind of money. But what I'm going to tell you right now is we price this at $39,120.90 at closing today. What? Whoa, who are you? Oh, we sell it at $51,585. Now, you could say, Erin, I don't know if this is the same day. I don't give a rat's ass. Anyway, I don't, because that is a really large difference. Now, I'm pointing this out because you're saying I'd have to buy that much in order to make that kind of discount. No. These kind of discounts happen every day. And I'm going to show you that too. People don't understand. But this is a little glimpse into what I'm personally buying and owning, right? So this is a little glimpse. I have a little work to do on here, but I'm putting in what I'm buying most recently. Obviously, I've only started in June. I've been buying for over a year from 7K Metals. I've belonged to 7K Metals since May 29, 2017. I was not this analytical back then. It was not this important to me. But I'm finally putting these things in. I'm putting in how many I bought that day. What did I pay? What is its actual, percentage of gold and silver? Because there's not always these kind of numbers. If you buy a gold coin, you're looking at 0.9046. So this is important. What I paid, what spot was for the day, and then I compare it to other companies as well as eBay, which really shouldn't be a comparable thing, but people want to go, but I can buy that on eBay. Well, it's probably not real, but I don't even need to get into that right now. I would really like to point this out right here. This was, in particular, a coin, a round. Oh no, this wasn't a coin. The Somalia Elephant 2014 1 ounce silver, which I have in my possession, but I didn't put my coins over here. But I bought it for $15.71. That's what I paid. Spot that day was $15.51. I paid 20 cents over a spot for a coin. If you're not aware, a coin it has a higher premium than a round because it has a denomination, a country, and a mint that's affiliated to, and a date. Okay, so JM Bullion, $29 on that same day, right? I do real-time comparisons. $29. That is like half price that I paid with my company. Atmex, okay, 24. So I saved $5 with Atmex. I saved almost 10, $9 buying from me. That adds up, people. If you don't think that adds up, I don't know who you are. This particular round, the Black Horse of Famine, there's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Obviously, you should know that. I didn't know anything about this till I got this round in the mail. I went to look for the other 4 horsemen. I cannot find them for a decent price. No dealer has them, okay? No dealer has the 4 horse of the apocalypse. I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't finished this, but I paid $15.57 for that 4 horsemen. Spot that day was $15.37. You will not find it any, this is only an eBay deal. And here we go, eBay. $32.50 is the cheapest I found for the same one. The other 4 horsemen, much more expensive. That's a round. That's not even a coin. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the savings deals. This is going to be the longest video I've done, but as you can tell, I'm really into this, and I'm sure you won't even be here, most of you, at this point in time, which is fine, because this is all going to be information for later. One thing about crypto I'm going to bring up is a computer program. And the more I look into things, the more I look into government, what are they watching? Okay, first there's fees, obviously, because it's mining. So they're going to give you, if you don't know what crypto is, give some time to yourself to learn, because the mining process, which sounds really fun and cute, you pay for, okay? It's because those blockchains are important. People need those. So you pay fees just to use that blockchain, just to make a pathway, just to use the pathway that somebody else made, okay? So that, you're like, that's fair, but you don't want to pay us premium for silver and gold, which is physical mining, physical human effort. Anyway, so you got to pay fees for that. It's slow, getting faster with some of them. But are people like Jeff Bezos watching what you buy and what you're doing? Are they collecting information on you because you own crypto? Is that a possibility? You should look into that, because I have, and I have some answers for that. The answers is very likely, because they're buying a lot of stuff. They're watching your transactions. You have to put an identification. They say, oh, we're, like, for instance, P-O, capital P, little o, dot, little e, little t, poet or po. They want to say, oh, we're going to protect your stuff because we're going to make you put an identifier on your stuff so we know that nobody's stealing from you or doing anything different. This is... You can be monitored with this. Nobody has to put an identifier to me if I'm selling my gold and silver. If you want to find out if it's real, you just go to the nearest pawn shop and they'll check it, right? You don't need an identifier to determine if I'm the person that should be buying or selling gold and silver. Hello? Can I get a witness? Like, for real? Okay. Anyway, though, you need an identifier for your crypto, so they know that you're a legitimate person that's buying and selling. Boom. Might as well have a chip in your debit card. That's all I'm going to say about that. So anyway, look up Pump and Dump with crypto. Oh my God, it's just creating a new gambling era that I guess I can't get into. But don't be a volunteer victim. Do not volunteer for this. Look it up yourself. Take the time. It matters. Like, you're smart enough. You can do this. Find out what's really going on, okay? And do that thing for yourself. Besides, what's the worst that could happen to you, right? Like, oh, you researched something and you found out it was true? Your life's better for it. Come on. And if you buy gold and silver, what's the worst that could happen to you? You exchange your worthless, petty pieces of paper or computer programmed crypto for actual physical gold and silver, which the states are delegating as proper money for your bills and your gas and all that stuff you guys want to argue with me about. It's proper. It's proper money. It's real money. So anyway, that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. I know I talk to you fast and I get super worked up, and this is the longest video I've ever made. I really hope you watch it. I hope you watch it from beginning to end. I hope you'll comment and press a like button. I know it's not that hard to do. Subscribe, even easier. If you disagree, let me know. I'm not afraid of anything that you have to say, because I'm willing to come together united. I'm willing to get an understanding with people who don't have the answers and want the answers. And if I don't have the answers, then I'm wrong. if I'm wrong, I will be absolutely willing to correct myself. And I thank you for taking the time to be here for this 20 minutes. All right, guys, you have a wonderful night. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day, maybe for just 2 minutes next time. All right, peace.